The world of cinema feels a little quieter, a little less certain. We are waking up to the heartbreaking news that one of the greatest actors to ever grace the silver screen, Robert Duvall, has passed away at the age of 95. From the calculated calm of the Corleone family's consigliere to the unforgettable roar of a surf-obsessed colonel in Vietnam, Duvall wasn't just an actor. He was the heartbeat of American film for over 7 decades. Hollywood is in mourning, but the legacy he leaves behind is immortal. Join us as we look back at the life, the grit, and the quiet genius of the man who gave us some of the most iconic moments in history. This is the final tribute to Robert Duvall. The news was confirmed late Monday by his wife of over 20 years, Luciana Pedraza. In a moving statement shared via social media, she revealed that Bob passed away peacefully at his ranch in the Plains, Virginia, on February 15, 2026. He was 95 years old. He lived far from the bright lights of Los Angeles, preferring the quiet life of a gentleman farmer, surrounded by his horses and the land he loved. Within minutes of the announcement, the industry responded. Al Pacino, his longtime co-star, released a statement simply saying, "Bob was a brother to me. To work with him was to witness the truth in its purest form." Robert De Niro added, "He was a giant. He showed us all how to be real." It's rare to find an actor who is universally respected by his peers, but Robert Duvall was exactly that, the actor's actor. Duvall's journey started in 1931 in San Diego, born into a military family. But it was the stage that called him. After serving in the Army during the Korean War, he headed to New York's neighborhood playhouse. This is where the legend begins. Can you imagine a more iconic roommate situation? Duvall shared an apartment with Dustin Hoffman and Gene Hackman. Back then, they were just 3 young guys struggling to pay rent. Hoffman once joked that they spent more time checking each other's fridges than they did on Broadway. His breakthrough came in 1962 in what is arguably the greatest screen debut of all time. He played Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird. He didn't have a single line of dialogue. He stood behind a door, pale and silent, but his eyes told the entire story of a soul longing for connection. That performance alone changed the industry. It proved that Robert Duvall didn't need words to command a room, he just needed to exist. Then came the 1970s, the decade that made him immortal. In 1972, Francis Ford Coppola cast him as Tom Hagen in The Godfather. Amidst the operatic violence of the Corleone family, Duvall was the steady hand. He brought a quiet, intellectual dignity to the role of the Irish-German consigliere. He famously didn't return for the 3rd film because he knew his worth. He refused to accept a salary significantly lower than Al Pacino's, proving that even in the Hollywood machine, he stood his ground. But if Tom Hagen was the calm, Lieutenant Colonel Bill Kilgore in Apocalypse Now was the storm, walking through a rain of fire on a beach in Vietnam, obsessing over surfing while the world burned around him. That line, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning," became part of the global lexicon. He earned an Oscar nomination for just 15 minutes of screen time. That was the power of Robert Duvall. He didn't just fill a role, he owned the atmosphere. Surprisingly, it wasn't a mob movie or a war film that brought him his Best Actor Oscar. It was the 1983 film Tender Mercies. He played Max Sledge, a washed-up country singer seeking redemption. Duvall, a musician in his own right, did all his own singing. He spent weeks driving across the South, recording the local accents to make sure he sounded exactly like a man who had seen too much road and too much whiskey. If you asked the man himself what his favorite role was, though, he wouldn't point to his Oscar. He would point to Lonesome Dove. As Gus McCrae, he gave us the ultimate American cowboy. He once said that the English have Shakespeare and the French have Molière, but America has the Western, and he wanted to be the best at it. Millions of fans today are re-watching that final scene between Gus and Woodrow, realizing just how much of his heart he left on that set. Even in his 80s and 90s, Duvall never stopped. He became the oldest person ever nominated for Best Supporting Actor at age 84 for The Judge. He remained sharp, curious, and deeply passionate about the craft of acting until until the very end. Duvall didn't care for the method acting of his peers. He didn't need to stay in character for 6 months. He would just step onto the set, look his co-star in the eye, and tell the truth. He leaves behind his wife, Luciana, his beloved farm in Virginia, and a filmography that serves as a masterclass for every generation that follows. The consigliere is gone, the colonel has left the beach, and the cowboy has finished his drive. But Robert Duvall, he'll be with us as long as the cameras are rolling.